Hello everyone, I am back again, and this time it is a thread response for MGKBoston's push to a quadrillion subscribers. And so yeah, he has 10 prompts that he wants us to show. What are those prompts? Well, I'll show you on the flip side. Hello everyone, Daryl at the Northern Vinyl Guy here, and as I mentioned in my intro, I am going to be giving Mike at MGKBoston hopefully a few more subscribers. His push to a quadrillion last year was a trillion, and he is well past that trillion. So he's making his way to a quadrillion subscribers. We're bringing in all the stops from all the other planets. All the other creatures abound are going to start subbing his channel. We're going to get him to that quadrillion. So yeah, 10 questions, 10 prompts. And so here we go. This one's actually really cool. We've even got some like food questions in here and all kinds of different stuff. So not everything here is related to records. So let's check this out. So first prompt is to show a record that either your spouse has that you don't like, or to show a record to say that you are embarrassed to have. Well, my wife does not collect records or music. I think she has like 2 CDs from when, I first got together with her, but those ones are okay. So I'm going to show one that I don't know if I'm embarrassed to say that I have this, but it's kind of a maybe a guilty pleasure of mine. And I do want to get a couple of their other albums. I've talked about this on our Northern Revolutions Wednesday night show, which tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be on. New Kids on the Block. I don't have too many 12-inch singles, and this is on the Columbia Records, but it's the New Kids on the Block, Be My Girl, 12-inch single. And, I remember being in elementary school and all the girls were all over these guys. I actually don't mind Cover Girl and a few other songs, so I wouldn't mind getting some more New Kids on the Block, but is it embarrassing to say I have it? Maybe. All right, question number 2, prompt number 2 is to show a favorite snack and to review the snack. Well, I've got these Old Dutch extra honey barbecue Ridgie's potato chips, which I am going to open the bag right now. I already know what these taste like, and if you like barbecue chips with a hint of sweetness, Old Dutch Ridgie's extra, absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure if you can get those in the US, but good potato chip flavor. I like it. All right, prompt number 3. Wear a cool t-shirt or wear a cool shirt and explain why you think it's cool. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show 3. I'm going to show a t-shirt, and then I'm going to show this Hawaiian shirt. I'll explain it. And then I'm going to show a hoodie. So I have this Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon t-shirt. The reason that I think that this one is cool is, many of you know, I'm a high school teacher. As a high school teacher, it's very rare that you get teacher gifts. A few years back, I had a student approach me, referred to me as the legend for some reason. Thought I was a cool teacher and ended up giving me this Pink Floyd t-shirt. So I think that is pretty cool. Secondly, I've got my Hawaiian t-shirt, palm trees and all. I think it's a pretty stellar look. If I was to go hang out on the beach, drinking some margaritas at the Margarita Shack, I would be wearing this. I think it exemplifies everything that Hawaii has to offer. And then thirdly, I'm not going to put this on, but I do have a hoodie. And for those of you that are old enough to, or young enough maybe even to remember, my wife bought me this, but there was a TV show that was on years ago. I think it was LeVar Burton was on it, called Reading Rainbow. It was to get kids engaged in reading books and stuff, but my wife did get me this for Christmas one year, and I think it has some cool colors. There is the logo for the show. So the Reading Rainbow hoodie. I went for 3 there, 3 for. All right, prompt number 4. Discuss a positive and a negative concert experience. Well, I think my most positive concert experience was probably my first concert experience, which I went to with my mom and dad. We were visiting family in Quebec City, and they took me to see Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I remember it like it was yesterday. I think I was like 10 or 11 when I went. We were sitting behind these bikers, of all things, Hell's Angels bikers, and of course my dad didn't want to cause a commotion, but they were smoking weed in front of me and my dad, and the one guy had punk hair, like a mohawk kind of a thing. And so first of all, positive because it was my first experience at a concert. Secondly, not that I'm into that kind of stuff, but it was my first experience smelling any kind of drugs or drug paraphernalia. Not that I like that skunky smell, but anyway, it brings back that memory. But thirdly, this album here has the track Lucky Man on it. It's the last track on side 2. And Lucky Man was the big hit by ELP that they were performing at that concert, and I remember it very distinctly. So yeah, that is my positive experience. Now my negative experience, I don't have an album for. I don't know if it was a negative experience, but we got kicked out. So when I was in university, we went to the campus pub, and the Watchmen, a Canadian music band, were performing there, Boneyard Tree and songs like that. And there was this engineering fellow that we knew, me and my roommates knew, and he hardly ever came out. He was always studying and doing the math and all that. But he really liked the Watchmen, and we convinced him to go, and he got a little too over the top with drinking, if you know what I mean. And the sound mixing boards and stuff were right in front of us with the bass and the speakers and all that. And yeah, he puked all over all of it. So the bouncer kicked us out, carried him out and all. So that's my negative experience. The Watchmen. It was a great concert though, from what I remember. All right. If I win the lottery, prompt number 5, if I win the lottery, what would be my dream destination? Well, my wife and I have talked about this. I'm going to show John McCormack, and I believe that the background here, he was an Irish tenor and died in the 1940s, but Irish tenor. I believe that this is Ireland or somewhere along those islands off the coast of the United Kingdom. And my dream destination would be to go to Ireland with my wife, check out the Emerald Isle. Generations and generations ago, my family immigrated to Canada from Ireland, so I would love to know what my roots are. And my last name, I'm not going to name it here, but if you want to know what the longest river in Ireland is, my family name actually is the longest river in Ireland. So there we go. There's that. All right. Prompt number 6, show a blues album. Well, I don't have very many blues albums, but I do have the Powder Blues Band and their album Thirsty Ears from I think it's 1981. Yes, 1981. So kind of like blues rock, straight up blues on some of the songs. Powder Blues Band, and I think the title track was the big hit off of this. So Powder Blues Band on that label right there, the Liberty label. So check those guys out. All right, show a hat, wear it, and explain why you like it. Well, this is going to make me look absolutely ridiculous. Lloyd down in Australia. You're going to love this, Mr. Hats. This is a as you can imagine, South Africa has lots and lots of snow at this time of the year. But I have a couple of buddies that during the 2010 World Cup of Soccer that was held in South Africa, they went there and they bought this for me as a gift. Nice and warm. I don't typically wear it too often, but it is my winter hat from South Africa. And on a side note, they also bought me while they were there a toy vuvuzela, which, if anybody remembers the 2010 World Cup, everybody and their dog that was in the stands was blowing on those the entire tournament. So they brought me back a vuvuzela to go with the hat. So there we go. That's my hat, why I like it. Number 8, male and female artists that look like supermodels. Show one of each who you think is a supermodel. Well, I'm not going to make any bones about this. I got this for Christmas from my wife. I think Taylor Swift and the Life of a Showgirl album, I think she is absolutely stunning on the inner and outer sleeves, and definitely a supermodel, so to speak. So I'm going to show Taylor for that. And then this one here, Gino Vanelli, Canadian soft pop, but I mean, he's got that 1970s, I don't know if it would be considered supermodel, but he was definitely that greasy chest sex symbol of Canadian music in the 1970s. So we will go with Gino Vanelli, and this is the Storm at Sunup album. This is by far my favorite album by Gino Vanelli. I think it's a banger. It actually didn't really have any hits in Canada nor the United States, but to me it's stellar from start to finish. Prompt number 9, Make It Stop. Show an album that you don't ever need to hear again. Well, I almost thought about going with ABBA on this one for Rob and a few of my other friends in the VC, Brian at Embryonic Robot. Oh my word, I'm getting the squealy voice here. Weird. But I didn't go with ABBA. Instead, I'm actually going to go with Hall & Oates. This is the Private Eyes album. I can't stand Hall & Oates. Private Eyes, I don't ever need to hear it again. You Make My Dreams Come True. I can't. Absolutely. I mean, the Toronto Maple Leafs, if you're a fan, you'll know that a few years ago that was their goal-scoring theme song. It was absolutely abysmal. Cannot stand this. Never need to listen to it again. Why do I have it? I have it because my brother got it for me as a Christmas gift one year, or a gift. But I do not like Hall & Oates anymore, and yeah, just not a good album in my opinion. And last but not least, show an album that has an excellent duet on it. Well, I'm going to show Peter Cetera. Many of you know that I am a Chicago fan, but I am particularly a fan of their 1980s era with Peter Cetera. This is his Solitude and Solitaire album. And I do have the 45 single of this as well. But on it, he does a duet with Amy Grant. That is right, Christian singer Amy Grant, called The Next Time I Fall in Love, which starts off side 2 of the album. And I actually think it's not a bad song. It's not a bad song. This also includes The Glory of Love, which of course was on the Karate Kid soundtrack as well. So we've got two bangers here. But yeah, Peter Cetera, Amy Grant, Next Time I Fall in Love. Pretty good duet from, I think it was 1985, 1986. And that is on the Warner Brothers label. So there you go, Mike, MGKBoston. I hope that you enjoyed this video, this 14-minute video. I was going to try to keep it less than 10, but I didn't get there. But I hope this helps you out. I hope this brings all the planets, aligns together, and you get your quadrillion subscribers. So until next time, take care everyone, and we will see you on the next video. Cheers.